Merry Christmas and Goo Yule from Nancy and Teria. Ah, yes, 2022. In retrospect, it was a year we did not initially predict. In the early spring, we made the final decision to leave California and move to Fredrikstad, Norway. We started the process at the end of May. It has meant a lot of planning, organizing, strategizing, patience, and stress management, but we kept moving ahead step by step. We put our house on the market and started seriously packing and discarding, donating. We had to live somewhat in the garage to keep the house pristine for the open houses. Instead of waiting around in the garage, in August we drove to Minnesota to visit my son and his family and my sisters. It was a great trip. While we were driving to Minnesota, the house sold. We contacted an international shipping company, and they picked up our household goods and our furniture. We had over 250 boxes. Initially, it went into storage and then into a shipping container to eventually dock in Oslo Harbor. Once we handed the keys to the new owners and before our flight to Norway, we stayed with some marvelous friends who treated us like absolute royalty. Terje taught our hostess how to make fårikål, a traditional Norwegian lamb, cabbage, and potato stew made in the autumn. She did a wonderful job. It was hearty and delicious. It was true fårikål. Finally, our day of departure at SFO, October 11th. We were there early so we could be among the first in line to check in all those suitcases. We succeeded. Then we had a glass of wine. After a long international flight, our sister-in-law Kari and Terje's son Truls, who's on the left, picked us up at the airport and drove us to Kari's condo, which she kindly let us stay in until we bought a house. Kari made dinner for us and her samboer, Jan Arne, joined us. He is in the middle next to Kari. Shortly after our arrival in Norway, Terje's nephew, Stian, said he had found a car for us. What a blessing that was. Among other advantages, it allowed us to drive to Fredrikstad, about 1.5 hours from where we were staying, to look for houses. At the end of October, we bought this house in the city of Fredrikstad on Krokerøy Island. We received the keys on November 10. The next day, and back at Kari's condo, we tested positive for COVID. We were quite sick for about 2 weeks, and it took us about a month to fully recover. Trust me, I didn't look much better here than Terje. Having mostly recovered, we moved into the house on Krokerøy with our minimalist goods. We borrowed bedding and pillows for our 2 air mattresses, 12 clothes hangers, and 1 cooking pan from Kari to keep ourselves going until our shipping container would arrive. We're still waiting for our container to arrive at the Oslo Harbor, but in the meantime, we have spruced up our windows with a bit of Christmas decorations. We put some joy in a window. I met Terje in 2001, and he introduced me to the Christmas cuisine of southern Norway. The star of the meal, ribbe, is a special pork rib cut. It's a fatty, meaty, skin-on cut of meat that is slow roasted until the meat is falling off the bone and the skin is crispy. We were able to get this specific cut in California from a place called the Nordic House in Berkeley, California. They brought it in from Denmark. Here in Norway, we have already purchased our Christmas ribbe. But after getting it home, I realized none of my baking and roasting pans that are on their way to Norway in our shipping container are going to fit into our small oven here in Norway. So it was off to the store to find a pan to fit the oven, which we did, but then found the rivet is too big to fit in the pan. Terry said he may buy a saw and cut it down to size, but we'll make it work. Not sure what I'm going to do with 2 cookie sheets and 1 roasting pan that will never go into the oven here. Hopefully all my glass casseroles will fit. To top off the year, my grandson Christian and his girlfriend Emily recently announced their engagement. Christian is in his first year of seminary school, and Emily is in her first year as a full-time grade school teacher. Good things are happening. It's time to look back on what we are grateful for this year. We are grateful this year for our family's continued health. We've had family members who had COVID multiple times but have recovered safely. Everyone who needs a job has a job. Our senior retired family members are active and enjoying their families. The parents are busy raising secure, strong, involved children. Friends are doing very well in careers or in their retirements, and for some, improvements in health. We are grateful for all the support from family and friends that sustained us on this relocation journey. We couldn't have done it without you. Okay, breaking news. December 19th, we found out that our container was in Oslo Harbor. Our household goods and furniture will arrive on December 22nd. Yay! You know what we're going to be doing over Christmas. Merry Christmas from Nancy and Terria.